Hi guys, this is another one of my old projects that I started and never finished. This was a friction powered toy car, or a push along one, that I was going to convert to radio control. I did a rather temporary lash up here. I've just got a motor hot glued there to drive the back axle. Organised it so we could use the original wheels. They're hardish. They're not soft rubber, but they got a bit of give in them. The front end, this is the steering off of a toy grade radio control car. Again, I've modified it so it takes the original wheels off the Ferrari. And what I'm going to do now is modify it a little bit more, just trim it down, stick a little 9-gram servo on it somehow. In fact, looking at it, I could probably just glue that way. Yeah, that'd probably do the job. I remember now. I think I'd come to the conclusion we might be a bit short of space. Clearance. If we have that sitting there. I've got to trim bodywork out the way here anyway, just so that can sit down as far as possible. But I can mount it upside down. Anyway, that's the plan. I'm going to hack around a bit, see if we can actually get that in place. So we've got, it'll be hobby grade, as in I'll be using Fly Sky transmitter and receiver, but it's not going to be a hobby grade motor. And yes, it'll be a hobby grade servo, but not a nice big metal geared one, just one of these little plastic ones. It's not going to be ridiculously powerful or anything. I just want to see if we can make it run hobby grade. Well, a fair bit of hacking. And we're more or less in there. I need to trim it so the wheels can actually turn in a little bit more. But that's that toy grade radio control steering assembly. I've hacked it around quite a bit. That's part of it that I've chopped off. So that's looking promising at the moment. I'm trying to retain as much of the original bodywork as possible so it keeps everything aligned properly. I'll just push that out again. You can see how I've hacked it. I'll probably just hot glue it in place. So you can see I've just roughly hacked in there so we can turn as much as possible. Might have to just trim a little bit out there at the back. Well, we're making some progress now. I've got the servo glued in place. Got it on it. Got the push rod on the smallest or the shortest arm because we don't need much movement. Just a bit of bent paper clip there with a kink in it so we can adjust it if we need to. I think that'll do the job. So I'll solder the wires back on the motor. That was never intended to be the permanent motor, but just for the fun of it, we will use it. It does actually move around too much, so it can actually lose contact with the gear wheel, drive wheel, because it flexes. It needs another bracket on there just to hold it still. But I think we can assemble it and just have a bit of fun with it. I've just pushed the cover on so we can actually try it out. I'll take it apart again in a minute so we can actually have a look inside. But we'll just see what happens when we put it on the ground and try it. Okay, so we are hobby grade. Trying to be gentle with it. Oh, wheel spin. Didn't take very much to get wheel spin out of it. Yeah. I'll close that door really, shouldn't I? I'll just do that. Yeah, well, whoa, smoke. I wonder what was smoking in there. Something's smoking. Probably the motor. Because it was jamming on that gearing. Oh, I can see the hot glue is loose now. You see the motor moving around? Yeah, I probably ought to do a proper job on fixing the motor, because I think what happened there was the motor's jammed and it's overheated. Oh yes. Motor's jammed, wires have overheated. Can we see that clearly? That's where the smoke's come from. Yeah. Okay, well it worked, but as you can see I did put a couple of wooden braces on there just to hold it in place, but it was still jamming because it was going out of alignment. So that's jammed the motor. Motor's stalled, as they call it, and the feed wires, the insulation's melted. Well, that made it a little bit more interesting. A little bit of smoke always makes a demonstration interesting, but the rest of it works. So steering's fine. That's one of my favourite batteries in there. It's a blown 2S LiPo. You see it's all puffy. So I like to use that just in case it all goes wrong and it goes, well, it lets the smoke out. One of those little 20 amp ESCs with a switchable brake on and off, and a FlySky 3-channel receiver that I pick up cheap, £4 or £5 on eBay. So, yeah, if we do anything else to this, then we really ought to do a proper job on the motor so that we don't jam it and overheat it. Just for reference, that puffy 2S LiPo is actually quite hot, so I shall go and stick that outside for safety now. But it didn't suddenly burst into flames in the car.
Hey, thanks for watching. There's plenty of videos on my main channel with more added daily, so don't forget to subscribe and enable the notifications to keep you up to date with my new releases. You can help keep my channel running by donating $1 on Patreon to buy me coffee. You can always find more information in the video description. Thanks again for watching.